Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're listening from or watching from. We are excited, especially myself, to have Delynn Miller back with us today live here. She's the CEO of the Pursuit Institute. She's a coach, a consultant, known globally all over the world, physically living in Barbados, living the dream, and helping everyone out there today listening. She can help you do the same. Live your dream, live your best life. And I'm just so excited to see your beautiful face this morning. How are you?
Good to be back.
Great to have you here. There's a lot to you as an author, as a coach. Tell us a little bit about yourself. And my goodness, there's a lot.
You know what, Jill? I think the main things I like to focus on now is the fact, and just acknowledging, like, we all wear a gazillion hats. I don't even think a gazillion is a number,
Don't
but we
laugh,
all
but
wear,
I have Woody's hat right here.
you actually have a legit
Totally.
hat. Jill's literally wearing a different hat today. But we all wear so many different hats. And honestly, I pride myself on going from the first half of my life where I prided myself on wearing all the hats, and I would just say, yes, I'll take on that hat. Yes, I'll take on that hat. Even if that hat didn't bring me joy, even if I kind of wanted to jab myself in the eye the entire time I was doing it, but I did it because I was like, this will like get me my next job promotion, or this will get me my next accolade, or this will get me my next whatever, right? And I was always searching for the next. And I can tell you, when I stopped doing all of that and I said, wait, like, I'm literally only saying yes just for a year. Okay. And I challenge everybody to do this just for a year. Only say yes to things that bring you joy, like that get you excited, that you're like, even if the thing sounds a little bit scary, where you're like, oh, that's scary. But if there's that part of you that like, oh, that's kind of exciting too, say yes to it, but only for 1 year. That's it. Okay.
Wow.
And you'll find, especially if you're in the habit of saying yes to everything,
Yes,
that
ma'am. Yeah,
what it will do is it will lend this new belief that you have in yourself. You'll get to know yourself a lot better, because the things that I thought I liked before, when I started putting it in the joy meter, right? I'd be like, oh, this is actually only about a 5 in the joy meter. And I only tolerate 9s and 10s and 11s on the joy meter now, right?
Absolutely.
So I started to get to know myself a little bit better and started setting new standards for myself. We've talked a lot about standards, started setting some new standards. And, when I look back on what my life looks like now, it was 100% that year of, nope, I only say yes to things that bring me joy, period. End of conversation. Zero apologies needed. That's the other part. When I would have to say no, it's like I was choking on it because I wasn't in the habit of saying no.
And I feel like many women, not men, many women are this way. As parents, yes. as we were, and we always feel bad saying no, but yeah.
Yes. And add the fact that I'm Canadian on top of that. It's like this whole different level of, you apologize for everything because it's like built into our culture. So this is where I was always like, no, I'm sorry. And then I realized, wow, they're actually okay with me saying no, because guess what? They'll find someone that'll say yes. It's just not for me. And every time I realized, when I was saying yes to all this stuff, and stuff that I didn't even want to do, I was actually taking away from someone else's joy, because I would be taking it away from them. Like, the thing I'm saying, yes, but meh too, is someone else's like, woohoo, yes, right?
Exactly.
And I'm like, give it to them. Go fill your cup. And because the things that bring me joy aren't necessarily the things that are going to bring you joy. Period. End of conversation. Gosh. Zero apologies needed. I know.
Love you. DelynnMiller.com, DelynnMiller.com. Don't forget her book, her app we got to talk about. And for self-belief and self-confidence, that is our goal today. We're going to talk about the difference between that. Do you want to just tell us a little bit about the book and app first as well?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So this book came out in March. This is my most recent one. It's called You Can't Mess This Up. Embrace Imperfection, Stop Overthinking, and Take Inspired Action. And what we're going to talk about today is actually a whole chapter in this bad boy. And it's been so much fun just getting this out and like hearing people's comments. It's one thing to write something, and then it's this whole different level of yourself that you have to tap into to actually release it to the world, right? Because anybody can get their mitts on it. So you can go to my website, you can grab a copy, and you can go to your bookstore, your library, Amazon. It's there too, but it's a whole other part of me that I had to tap into, because how vulnerable is it
Yeah.
to put your stuff out there? Like, these are my thoughts. Like, there's parts of my life in here. There's like my deepest fears that I had to overcome in here, right? And you're like putting it out to people. So that was a really, really cool experience. And then I also have an app. It's called Pursue You. You can download it wherever you download your apps. It's a free app. So if you are like, I need some of that, I need a coach in my pocket, I need some of that energy, I need some of this awareness, I have a plethora of stuff in that app. So go and download it.
Yay. Thank you so much.
Yay.
We sure will. And yeah, let's get started and talk about these topics today. Very important because
Yeah.
self-belief, self-confidence. Let's talk a little about what they are, what the differences are, and of course,
Yeah.
how we can get this.
For sure. Jill, it always amazes me how people think that they're the same thing. Okay. But your self-belief is something that comes from within you. Okay.
Sure.
This is your what you personally like, your personal conviction about your abilities, your worth. It's this internal sense of assurance that you have.
Okay.
Okay. What you're capable of achieving. Self-confidence, on the other hand, is the outward
Appearance of it
expression.
or expression that I good. Thank you. You're helping me.
Yes. Yes. And the thing with self-confidence is this can be a learned behavior. This could be genuine, or it could be a fake it till you make it sort of thing. Like, it's not, when you see someone that's confident, it's not necessarily legit. Okay? And I say this because I lived the first part of my life. Everybody always says, "Oh, Delynn, you're always so confident. You're so confident." I can tell you, until I started believing in myself, I appeared confident, but I wasn't confident. The things I was saying in my head would not reflect someone of confidence. Okay. The results that I was getting were the results that everybody was getting. Like, they weren't anything like to write home about. And like I already said, I was making I couldn't make a decision to save my life. And if I did make a decision, it was mostly just because I was a yes man and a people pleaser. And like, that's just how I made decisions. And I would appear confident because I was programmed to be confident. My parents were both super confident, super, super confident, or appeared confident. Okay. I don't know. I never actually have had that conversation with my parents, but they appeared confident, right? So it was like, Delynn, you stand like this, you make eye contact with people when you
Yeah.
talk with them. You
Hmm.
like, these are all the traits of a confident person. But I was just taught that that's just what you do. Like,
Yeah.
when I talk to someone, I make eye contact with them because that's what I was taught to do, right? I'm a naturally loud person. My whole family's loud. You should hear us at
You
family
are a lot
reunions.
like me.
We
That's
are
why I love you so much.
ridiculous. Oh my God. So I'm just naturally loud. So people are like, "Oh, you're so confident. You project your voice." I'm like, I project my voice because that's what I was taught to do. Like, everybody around me is loud. If you're not loud, you're not getting heard, right? Like, that's just the way I am. So I spent the first chunk going like, "Oh, everybody thinks I'm confident. I just got to be loud. I just have to walk this way, dress this way, wear my hair and makeup this way, make eye contact. Awesome. Do my power pose, confidence." But I wasn't confident. Like, there's a big difference in this, because the inner dialogue that I had and the experiences that I was lining up for myself weren't a reflection of someone that actually believed in themselves, what they were capable of, what they could do. So I didn't have the two together, and which is really big, crucial step, because arguably, like, self-belief is way more important. Like,
Yeah.
I'd rather, and this is what I teach people to do now,
Okay.
because I'm like, "Oh my gosh, this is crucial."
So that is more crucial, obviously, than the self-confidence. Yeah.
Hands down, because
Yeah.
if you have that core foundation, that's what's going to sustain you.
Hmm.
That's your right? Like it's the difference between the three little pigs being built out of straw or built out of bricks. Like this, that's
This
your
is your
self-confidence.
foundation, exactly. And
Yeah,
if you
the
can
third
have,
little pig
hmm
didn't even phase him when the big bad wolf came and
I
was like, I'm
know.
gonna blow your house down. He was just like, go ahead, huff and puff, do your thing. I got my house of bricks, have at it, right? Didn't really
Yeah.
care. Where, right, like that's the difference between them.
So
And confidence, it makes it so that it's not superficial.
got it. Well, can you have
Yeah.
self-confidence without self-belief then, or no?
So you can, but
Okay.
it's typically a superficial self-confidence. Like
Got it.
it's not a confidence that's going to weather the storm. It's the like I said, it was probably like the confidence I had where I was trained to be confident and there were certain things I was confident in like now as my kids are 10 and 12 now, like I'm confident as a mom. I've been a mom long enough. I'm like, all right, I know how to be a mom. Whereas my confidence was there, right? But a lot of people, it doesn't even necessarily mean, well, I've been doing it a long time. I worked in corporate healthcare for 15 years before I started doing like having my own business. And I was a ladder climber. And so I hung out with intentionally really high level executives. And all I did was I watched them. I watched them like a kid would watch their parents. I just watched them. And I was like taking in everything that they were doing and saying and being. And I was just, and I would notice that there was a lot of people, um, probably half of the organization that I worked for, that I would say half of the leaders in the organization couldn't self lead, yet they were leading, aka managing. They were more managers than leaders, massive teams, right? And their teams results were reflection of their lack of self leadership, right?
Yep.
So it's like, and it's the same thing with parenting, right? Like you'll see like adults that can't lead themselves, can't make decisions, are following the followers, just doing whatever to get by, have that and it's not good or bad, it's just awareness, right? Like everything we do is awareness. And when you become aware, like the moment I became aware that that was me, I was just like, I don't want that to be in me anymore. And
Yeah.
I had to make a decision that I'm pouring into my own, just, and it started that first year. That first year I'm only making decisions based on joy, and I'm getting to know myself. I'm getting to know what are my fears? What are my strengths? What are the things that bring me joy?
Yep.
What am I already like confident
Confident
in,
in and proud of,
just
and
basically exactly just based on like time, and pouring into those things and getting rid of everything else, like getting rid of the noise of all the things that I thought I had to do, of all the things that depleted my confidence. Like if you gave me a broke down car right now and said fix it, I'd be like, so I'm gonna call somebody where this is their jam. Like I could change a tire, but
yeah,
anything under the hood,
but
not
no,
happening. Not happening.
We need an
So
expert in that field. Sometimes we have to rely,
absolutely.
yes.
Absolutely. But I plan on staying ignorant in that field. I don't give a crap if I don't know what's going on under the hood. I don't
You
really care.
really sound just like me. I'm the girl. I'm like, I
I
can't do the what. I can do anything. I'm not doing a car. I'm not fixing. I can't, I don't
nope.
know. Help, take it. Help.
And I don't care that I don't know, and that's okay, right? I
Exactly.
know a lot of people though, they'll try to be this like jack of all
I
trades,
could do
but they're a
everything.
master of none. But they're a master of none, right?
Yeah.
Like I know my strengths, and even when I look at my business is for all the entrepreneurs out there, your business is a reflection of you. It always will be. It doesn't matter. Someone's going to come to you and they're going to say, oh, SEO is the next big thing. Stack up your email address, make sure, or your email list, make sure you got all these followers on Facebook and Instagram, make sure you got all blah, 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 blah. I legit have coached people that have like no social media followers and are making millions of dollars. How do they
See?
do it? It's amazing. And then there's other people that have done it through their email list, and there's other people that have done it through their website, and there's other people that have done it through selling books and public speaking, and what it doesn't matter, okay? That part of us is like 20%. Like the how you do it is 20%. The
Well,
80%
mm-hmm.
is your belief in yourself, your belief in your product, your belief in how like can you serve people? Like, and are you worthy of getting paid for that service? Because then there's a lot of people that are like, oh yeah, I do, I sell this, I do, my service is this. But then
Yeah.
when it comes to asking for like to do you want to buy it, they're like, ugh, it's like someone's choking them, right? That's the lack of self-confidence, right? Or the self and the self-awareness and the self-belief.
Oh
Right?
my
I can have
goodness.
confidence where I'm like, oh, I'll talk about my service all day. And I
Yeah.
see people do this all the time. The confidence, it like seems to come out when they talk about their service, but then when they ask for the sale, they're like, I got nothing. And then they wonder why don't I have any sales? Well, you don't have any belief in yourself. Like there's something in you that's not asking for the sale. It's not because you don't have the right script or you don't have the right whatever anybody's going to give you. It's you don't have the energy in you isn't aligning with it, right? And you don't have the belief in it. And so you build the belief and then literally everything starts to take care of itself. It doesn't matter what area of your life it is. Like I just had a client I've had like so many wins in the last month. Like I have had like clients reach like their health goals. I've had clients reach
Oh,
their business goals. I've had clients like reaching
goosebumps.
like the financial goals within their businesses. And it's just like all of it is that 80-20 rule. And it's purely because we're pouring into them.
Mm-hmm.
Because when people make it, when they get successful, whatever you deem successful to be,
True.
people go, how'd you do it? And I'm like, and I know I've said this before, do not ask how they did it. Ask what they were thinking about while they were doing it. Ask what they were saying to themselves, because I can guarantee everything they had to actually do to get where they are was super uncomfortable. They had to do things and like be things that they had never been before.
Out of their comfort zone.
Guaranteed.
Yep.
100%, 100%. So it's like, it's about going, okay, how do I, who do I need to be so that I can then do what I need to do? Right.
Got
And
it.
it's not about the quickest. It's not about, it's honestly working on yourself is no joke. And it's not one of those quick fixes. Like the minimum I work with people is 6 months, minimum.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And the reason is because I need time with them to work through all the other things so that they come out the other side believing completely different things about themselves. So they come out the other side having completely different habits. And that's where the magic is, right? Is that, and that's where people, they'll come out and they'll go, some people get into my program and they go, I just want to come out just like feeling joy. I'm lacking joy in my life. Like I've got all the things, but I don't feel the joy. And I'm like, okay, that comes when you start believing in yourself. That comes with like it's not going to come it like you think it's going to come with the paycheck or it's going to come with the relationship or it's going to come with your relationship with yourself. And a lot of
Yeah.
people don't have a relationship with themselves. Like they can't even be alone with themselves. They'd rather sit there and right? Like I have
The pity party.
the
Mm-hmm.
ultimate distraction device in every single phone, right? So I don't even have to spend time with my own thoughts.
It's so true.
Right? Like, oh, I'm by myself. Oh, I'll just go in the scroll hole. Look at
Mm-hmm.
everybody else's life. That's like 90% of the time some makeshift. They're not posting that they're actually a hot mess. They're posting that look at my perfectly curated Instagram photo of whatever, right? And and that's okay. That's them based on their
Mm-hmm.
current level of awareness where they are right now, right? But every single human on this planet, guys, like there's so much more at play here. And your soul, okay, is like seeking expression constantly. It just wants expansion. That's why we're not born with anything and we don't die with anything. Like
It's so true.
right? You're born this like you're not even born with clothes on. Like you're just naked and naked, right?
Yep.
And when you die, your body will disintegrate, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like you can't take any of it with you, but you can you're this other part of you, it wants expansion,
Oh,
right? And your business, your where you live right now, how much money's in your bank account, what your health looks like, what your relationships look like, they're all a reflection of that awareness, period.
oh my gosh, it's so true. Wow.
Yes.
And the
Yes.
older you get, the people, I have an uncle that's dying of cancer right now, and it's amazing how. And my mom passed away 7 years ago, and I know you had your losses. It's like everyone,
Yep.
you at the end is when everyone starts saying, "Wow, I wish I should have done this. I wish I would have didn't realize." So if we can learn from those elders, from those who have been through traumatic events, who are dying at a young age, like what they,
Yep.
listen to them, like what you're saying. It means nothing.
Yeah.
Do what you
Yeah.
want, but at the same time, keep your head level. Don't let it get to you, right? It's great to have
Right.
dreams, inspirations, and to try to make more money, try to be successful. But in the end, it doesn't really
100%.
matter. But you can do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it.
That's
That's
right. That's right.
remember, it's not
If
about that. In hindsight, it's like, wow, the
the
greater
the
picture.
goal, yeah, the goal isn't whatever you think your goal is. Okay? So
Exactly.
so again, if your goal is if you're like, "Oh, I'm super unhealthy, I want to release some weight." Okay, well that's your goal. Okay, I want to make more money. Okay, that's your goal. Oh, okay, I want to live in that house. Okay, that's your goal. That's fine. The
Yeah,
goal isn't the goal. The goal is who you become in the process.
true.
That's the actual part of it, right? So everybody, like when we sold everything here, like I'm back in Canada for the summer because it's warm here
Oh,
now.
are
So I'll be
you?
like,
Oh, okay. I
yeah.
didn't
So
know
I'm
that.
like, yeah. So I'm like, okay, I'll go back for the summer. So we're back here for the summer. And people, it's been like 2, 3 years since we sold everything here, moved to Barbados, have been doing our
Oh,
thing there. And people are still saying, like, oh my God, Dee, I can't believe you did that. That is crazy. I wish I could do that. I'm like, then do it. Like, but because, oh, I'll do it when, and I
when
mean, I'm at the age now where a lot of people are like, oh, I've only got 7 years left to work. I've only got 8 years left. And then it's like the golden
like, wait a
handcuffs, right?
second. Yep.
Like I only have, right? And I'm just like, we don't, like you just said, we aren't guaranteed. I'm like, do you know you're guaranteed 7 more years? Like
No.
you're hoping for it, right? But like I've had friends that have passed away in their 40s. My parents both died in their early 60s.
Wow. Yep.
Right? Like we're not guaranteed this time. So it's like, become, and you're the one common denominator in your entire life.
So
You're the
true.
common denominator in everything you do. And it's like,
Wow.
yes, sure, plan like you're going to live forever. Like I'm in my mind, I can see myself at like 100 years old. And so I'm like, okay, like I'm doing things now while my body's, younger that maybe I'm not going to be doing
Maybe
when
you're
I'm
not.
in my 90s, right?
Hmm.
However, I'm not guaranteed that. So I'm planning like that's what's going to go down. But I will when that time comes, I'm going to know that when the one person that I spent the most time with that
Oh,
I talk to regularly, come on, we all talk to ourselves. Let's be honest with
all the
ourselves,
time.
okay?
All the
All
time.
the time. All the
Let's
time.
see.
Right?
Sound
The one
crazy.
person
Yep.
I spend the most time with, I like negotiate with her all the time.
Me too, girl.
Right? I have to look at her all the time. I got to bathe her. I got to do a lot for this chick. Okay.
Damn right.
I am going to love her and I'm going to know her and I'm going to like make decision. Like there's even decisions that I made last year that I was like, oh, I would not make that decision this year. And that's
Yeah,
okay.
that's all
It's my
right.
my awareness at the time, right? So I'm not going to beat her up. I'm not going to do any of that. We're going to like have some fun. We're going to make some money. We're going to live where we want to live. We're going to drive what we
Yep.
want to drive. We're going to travel where we want to travel. And it's all going to be inspired. And that's it, right? And fact is it's all going to bring me joy. And if it
Absolutely.
doesn't bring me joy, it's gotta go. It's gotta go.
Absolutely.
Period. Ain't no one got time for that.
Oh my goodness. But can we learn to be more confident, learn self-belief later in life? So this we can learn, right? I mean, I know you said it takes 6 months to work with someone, but right, you can teach an old dog new tricks when it comes to this, right?
100%. At any point when you make a decision, like self-belief and self-confidence, they can be developed at any stage,
Right.
but it
To hear
requires intentional
a
effort.
lot of effort.
Like I always ask people on a scale of 1 to 10, how bad do you want this? And if they're not a 10, I always tell them like, we're not a good fit because you have to want to do this. Like I can't do this for you. I'm going to give you some tools. I'm going to, I'm going to coach you through it. When you're on the ledge and
But
ready
yeah,
for a breakdown, I got your back, but I can't force you
you
to do
can't.
this.
Nope.
Right. So you have to want to do this. You have to
Yeah,
be willing to do self-reflection. right? You have to be willing to adopt different practices than what you've been practicing up until now, right? Personal growth and development, it is a continuous process. And that's the thing in our culture. It's like everybody's in school, maybe till they're, maybe they'll upgrade, they'll get into their job in their 20s and then they might upgrade some courses. But by 35, everybody's like checked out. And it's like, it's not over till it's over. Like your growth and development is never done. And this is why, like a lot of my friends are in their 40s and 50s and they're like bored. They're like, I'm bored. And now my kids are grown and they're gone. And now what? Like, now what am I supposed to do? Like, I'm just bored.
It's so true.
But at least I'll be done work in like, I don't know, 7 years. And then I'll get to travel and it'll get exciting again. And I'm like,
that's not guaranteed.
No, that's not guaranteed. So maybe
now.
Right. Because when you have that self-belief in yourself, and then the genuine confidence is portrayed from that space, everything you do will be fun. Like even when now, because I love hanging out with myself so much, I'll be full. I literally just like folded a bunch of laundry this morning because that's what happens. And I'm like folding laundry and I'm like having fun doing it. Like it doesn't, I'm on with you and I'm having fun doing it. I'm like, it doesn't matter what I'm doing. It's because I love the company that I keep.
Yeah.
Period.
Family, friends, people you're helping, your job, your everything. So God bless you. And everyone could have this life too. Tell us how we contact you.
Yeah. So go to my website, DelynMiller.com, and book a call. You can book a call right with me from there and we'll see if we're a good fit. Like you might be going, oh, she's my people. And then we get on the phone. You're like, maybe not. And that's okay. I'm not here to be everything. Yes. I'm not here to be everything to everybody. So, but let's see if we're a good fit. And if you're just like, I just want some joy back in my life and I want to start making some different decisions, or maybe you're at a transition in your life, or you're wanting to start a business, or you're wanting different results within your business, or you're wanting to self-lead so then you can lead your team. This is what this work is all about, because when you, like I said, it's an inside out job, period.
It really is. You got to start from within. All right, Delynn, tell us how we find you again. Tell us the website and how we can contact you. Thank you.
Yeah. So go to DelynMiller.com, download the Pursue You app. So it's Pursue with the letter U. And you can get all of that from my website. So you can book a call from my website. You can get the app from my website. You can also get my book from my website. So all the things, Delynn Miller, are on DelynMiller.com.
Perfect.
Head on over.
Always a pleasure to have you, and enjoy your day. I'm excited that you're back with us and can't wait to speak again. Okay.
You
love
bet.
You. I love you. I'm so excited. You're on my sheet today. I was like, yeah, she's back. Delynn, always a pleasure. Thanks so much.
You bet.
Enjoy the rest of your day. And to all of our listeners, stay tuned. We'll be right back with more.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com, or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, I mean, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house.
And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.